Hey guys, what's going on? Crazy Cam Driver here, and today we'll be unboxing the VIOFO A119S. So let's get right to it. Alright guys, so I'm going to start this video with the unboxing. Just FYI, this is like one of my first voiceovers, so do apologize if it's not the best, but let's get right to it. Alright, so let's start with lifting it, cover of the box up. And as you can see, there's the camera nicely packed inside there. And here's the big reasons why I picked this camera out, was because great night vision. If you look at a lot of footage which you'll see here, you can see how good the night vision is. And then another big reason was the supercapacitors. My G1WH is a battery, lithium-ion battery, which does not handle the heat well, and a supercapacitor is a big pro in hot environments and should last a lot longer than a battery, because I have to keep replacing the battery on the G1WH every year or two. So here's the camera, nicely wrapped. And taking it out of the wrapper. Nice small design. The big thing that I like about it is how the emergency button, which saves the footage when you press it from not getting over it, and is right in the middle. The G1WH is in the corner, and I always get confused usually on what button it is, but this one has a nice dead center, so it's easy to push. So on design, you can see the GPS mount at the top right there, and black 3M tape. So it has a plastic lens cover. The lens rotates up and down. Does not rotate left or right, unlike the A119. But the viewing angle is large enough that you don't have to worry about that. When I put it in my car, it was all covered the whole hood, as you would see in the footage later on. Take out the styrofoam thing, and then get this little box with all the cables and manual and all of that fun stuff. Opening this, you get the extra adhesive tape, which is nice. So if you ever had to get your windshield replaced, or maybe the old one didn't stick right, or had to adjust it, you can maybe do that. String in there to take off the old one. I find dental floss works fine, and then a mini USB to plug the camera and get footage off, or to power it up and test it. Here's the longer mini USB cable, which is used to power the camera in the car. I had no issues with it going from my cigarette port to my top of my windshield, running it through the liner of the car. And I'll have a video of me when I installed my G1WH. It's basically the same install, down in the description. There's some cable clips right there. You have some mounts. This is different compared to the GPS mount, so if you don't want the GPS, the A119S does come with the GPS right on it, and that's the GPS mount. But maybe if you switch cars, or you want to move it around between cars, you can switch it off. And the thing I like about that is the power mini USB is right in the back, so it makes for a clean install if you want to remove the camera, because the GPS would power the camera itself too. So you can just swap the camera out and swap it in another car, and there's no messing with cables, really unplugging it or plugging it back in. Here's the instruction book of the camera. English on it is pretty good when I went through it, because I know some of these manufacturers from China or other countries struggle with the English. That's very straightforward. And that is everything right there. So let me get right into how I have my camera set up in my car, and we can go review the footage. Alright, so I finally installed the camera. As you can see, it's sitting up there on my windscreen. The cable's running across all the liner, all the way down under the glove box to the cigarette port. I'll have a video in the description of how I installed my G1WH. A big thing I like to let you guys know though about is if you have airbags on the side, make sure you can lift up the airbag and look under it. and you'll see cables to put it behind the airbag. Just don't put it in behind that pillar, because if the airbag goes out, the cable is going to go off out with it. So my car does not have airbags on the side, so I can just plop it right in there. And there's the camera. And let's start it up and check to see everything is working fine. And there we go. Camera recorder light turns on, and the logo appears. Alright, so here's the test footage, and as you can see, it is not that impressive at all. The camera is struggling to focus, it seems like. It's hard to read license plates. And you can see even the big street signs coming up ahead. It's hard to read them from a distance. Than my G1WH could even do a better job at reading plates from a distance if you zoom in. So this was a big downfall of the camera, I feel. And even at nighttime, nighttime quality looks a lot better, but in the distance there's always this haze. The camera's having a hard time to focus, it looks like. So, well, did I end it right here? No. Instead, I went online, looked at some things, and people were saying, that my camera could be defective and for me to try to get another one. So that is exactly what I did. And here's the new footage from the new camera, or the replacement camera I got, and you can still see that haze is still there in those cars in front of me. And you can see on the left side too, it's just not having a hard time focusing. Even the cars in the distance, it's kind of a little bit of a struggle to read the logos of those car dealerships in the distance. And even at nighttime, as you can see here, it's still, a struggle. The camera's having a hard time focusing. So then I thought, well, maybe it's not the camera itself. Maybe it's something with my windshield or something with the car. So what I decided to do was get my G1WH, hook it back up side by side, and to compare them. And this is the footage that I got there. So here it is, the A119S during the daytime. You can see I can barely even make out the car that's in front of me, the Mazda, which you would see on the G1WH right here. It's clear. You can make out the car, you can read the road signs, you can see the oncoming cars. And with the A119S, it's just struggling to focus. And I went online and looked and asked some questions on some forums, and people were saying that I guess the plastic lens holder, when it gets hot, as you can see, the quality drops as the plastic expands. That's what I got from online, from what I read. And yeah, you can read the road signs if you pause it. But I mean, just to even identify cars in the distance though, because I mean, like, let's say if someone hit me and ran, I don't need to identify the car, I don't need the plate numbers, and if it was so quick that the camera couldn't catch that, it's not a good thing. Alright guys, so now I'm going to go into settings you can configure in the camera. So to get to that, you press that menu button right next to the power button there, and it'll open up this screen here. So I'm just going to go down the list. So to go into an option, you press the red triangle, and I have my camera set to 1080p 60 FPS. You could drop it down if you want. You can go to 720p 120 FPS. I personally prefer a higher resolution, and 16 FPS is definitely better than what my G1WH had. So it's pro there. Loop recording will be the next option here, and I have mine set to 3 minutes. That's each time the video loops over. It creates 3-minute size clips. You can do 1. Exposure, I have mine set to 0, but if you get a tint, you might want to increase it, as the camera may struggle. WDR I have on. Time-lapse recording, I have that off. That's useful in a parking mode situation, which I think is kind of cool. The camera has time-lapse. Motion detection, I have that off. Again, parking mode, I recommend like a true parking mode. GPS, if you want the GPS on, you have to have the GPS mount connected right there. And speed units, I've set that to miles per hour. You can set that to kilometers. And next option here is G-sensor. That's if someone hit your car, it would automatically save the footage and not make it overwritten as if you push that red button right there. The emergency little lock button, whatever you want to call it. I leave that off because you go over a pothole, speed bump, it may register that, and then you just have a bunch of saved footage that won't get deleted of potholes and all that. So I turn it off and it doesn't issue, push that lock button there. Lane warning detection, I have that off. The front collision warning system, I have that off. Those things kind of just beep. time and date I have on, speed, you can make it show all info or just coordinates. That's what you want your GPS to see. So if you want all info, it would show your speed and your coordinates. I set mine to speed. And next we got the camera model. That shows the text at the bottom, the A119S. You can turn that on and off. I was going to leave it on if when I do videos and put them online, people will know what camera I was using. So yeah, next is the record audio. I left that on because I want to record the audio. If you don't, you can turn it off. Next is the screensaver, which is how long the screen will remain on before powering off. I have that set to a minute. I would probably drop it to 30 seconds. LED light is the red recording light that shows on. As you can see, I turn it off. Red recording light goes off. I have it on so I can know it's recording. It's a good handy feature to have. And the next setting we got here is the date and time. This would be where you set the time and date. Kind of straightforward right there. My time was not set up right. You can also do time zones, which is in the next feature. You just press the middle button to keep on rotating through all those times. Time zones, set the 2 times on. English language, beep sound. I recommend having that all on. Here's a clip right here showing what happens when the camera stops recording. And as you can see, it beeps, so that's a good thing to have. You got the frequency you can set there, and then you got the image rotation if you need to flip it. And the last option here is we got the format card. It's always good to format your card every few months just to keep things fresh. You can do a format warning, which is nice to have. 15, 30, 60 days, so it's always reminding you on when to format your card. It's always good to do that just to keep things going. I turn that off though because the camera won't record until you format the card, which could be annoying, and especially if you're in a rush and you turn it on, you know, you have to go through, format the card. It's just good if you just do it as normal practice and not let the thing remind you. And then last, default settings. If you want to set the default settings, car number, you can set a license plate, custom text stamp, another text stamp. Those show on the video, and this is the firmware version I am using. So yeah. Alright, so here's the specs on screen. This is from the VIOFO site directly. We'll have a link in the description to that, or you feel free to pause the video and read through them. So yeah, overall I have to say the build quality in this camera is nice. I like the feel of it. I like how the buttons are laid out, how, you know, everything is all it's a lot smaller than the G1WH, I feel, and a lot more hidden. So now for my personal review of this camera, I gotta say I would like to like this camera. You know, the video quality is a big downfall. It seems like I'm not the only one having this blurry issue with the camera, where it struggles to focus. And you know, if it wasn't for that, I would give this camera a thumbs up. But due to that issue, you know, I mean, a lot of people with dash cams, you know, say it's cheaper camera, video quality is not what you're going to get, but it's a big thing because you just have to have the ability to read license plates and identify cars. And even if this camera would read license plates close up, my G1WH can read the plates further. And identifying the cars, you know, sure the camera may be fine. It seems like at nighttime and in the morning, the focus was good, as you can see in some of those clips I showed. But during the day though, when it's been in the heat or after, you know, maybe 10-15 minutes of driving, the camera starts to haze out, and that's not, you know, a good thing. So I will be returning to both cameras that I got, unfortunately. But if you guys are interested in them, I will have Amazon link down in the description, so you guys can go down there and check it out. And yeah, I have plans to do more dash cam reviews, as I am still looking for a camera to replace my G1WH. And even though this camera has been good, and I know compared to what this camera is, people are like, why would you want to replace it? But again, as I stated numerous times, the battery in it, you know, is not reliable. Like, the camera's fine, and I've replaced the battery in myself in this camera, but just, you know, if I'm driving, let's say the battery happens to die while I'm driving, and I get into an accident, and power gets cut to the car, that last video clip is not going to be saved, and that's a big thing. The camera will work fine without the battery, but it won't save the last file, and it will be corrupted. So if I get an accident and power is cut to the camera, there will be no video file of that important event, which defeats the whole purpose of a dash cam. So as of now, I think this camera will be fine. There are some other cameras, new ones coming out that I'll be interested in. And yeah, so do expect more dash cam reviews in the future, and if you guys do have anything you would like me to review, post it down in the comments below and I will look into possibly going to review that camera. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if there's anything I missed, feel free to let me know down in the comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down. Hit that subscribe button if you want, and stay tuned to more crazy cam videos.